Hello, this is Gerald van Was. I have just recorded two words that sound the same, peace and peace, but I forgot that there is actually also a third piece written differently again. So let's add that as well. So let's investigate this word peace as how we use all these letters that are written down there and that we hear in our focuses, because each letter actually directs you to a focus. It's a quite simple system actually that gives you choices that are very automatically followed. In a way, like we balance things out, like we have in a dance also, we balance things out, like we have in all kinds of systems a balancing out, and that gives us the best possible order to work with. And these basics of order, of giving it an order, is actually so simple that it's either using a focus that just derives everything to a point somewhere in space, or the space is moving, so then we use a different kind of attitude and direction, the direction, so because then we start to follow, okay, where is that moving to? Basically from space to space. We use time for it, or when this timing is also not fixed at a point but is also moving, like for instance with a certain behavior that you're watching, you will have to follow the space, and the timings change all the time, and that's a different attitude, a different focus, and also there are letters. That's basically the whole system. Also in the three different regions that you can have there, in 1, 2, 3 options all the time. 1, 2, 3 points, 1, 2, 3 directions, and 1, 2, 3 unknowns, let's say, that we deal with. Okay, or open factors actually that we deal with. Let's go and find out what's the difference with peace when it is written as I and A. Of course, I have to take back the image that I had before, which basically is this one, which describes peace and peace, the two other options. Of course, it will be more or less the same, but the focuses will be with some different emphasis. What do you see here? You see here what's happening in peace. Our focus is a bit away from the second figure, so somewhere in future, somewhere to be made via context. In 1, 2, 3 is context. Via a context, we try to figure out what are the conditions that we can reach in peace and in peace. What are the conditions and when can we reach them? We can sense that back in the S, we can sense that as a kind of checkout in the resulting results, if it's really indeed there and if it's in balance and so on, and we can check that as well. It's written as E and A, so it also has a focus of E is usually about a timing where you see, okay, when do we have that changed point? And the A is actually what is it that we have? So a combination of what do we have as a changed thing, or what do we have there at the end is focused upon. Much more than E. E is more about the conditions themselves, which define the conditions, that it's only this behavior which is appropriate can only be found at one time and space at a time. With a certain behavior, if these behaviors are there, we have it. And the kind of focus that is used in peace, with the first kind of peace, is with the letter C extra, and that is a focus where we see the conditions, especially the conditions into the physical space, which we try to see with the last letter as E, if it really finds its highlight. So we focus mainly not on something physical, because the end letter is C and A, so it's about a focus in a timing. So it should be, is the time right? Do we have the right timing? Is the time right for these conditions? That's basically the focus which you have in the first word. The second word is without the C and the A, so it is more focused. So not focused upon, let's focus upon what is in space, but it's focused on E, A and S, so in a timing towards a physical realm, and see if you can find something that has the effect of a certain result that we are striving for, that we are working towards, that we have in the end, that we have really the direction that we expect, and that it will have that effect as well. So you have to sense it there in the end. The sensation is the last word, so it's like it should give you that sensation that yes, I have found my direction. Of course, because it's also more physical, I could also have expressed the physical process of formation. The EAS will show you a certain form that directs you towards that, and that will lead you to the form of peace as well. But that's not the point now. We're going to focus about the differences. So what is difference between these two words is, of course, E and A are not involved. So the E and A I should take out, the C I can keep. So what does it mean? If I take out the E and A, it's an extra focus, an extra attention. So E checks the right time. Do I really have the right time now? So is the time right? Is not an option here in peace. You don't need that. With a piece, you don't have to check like, is it the right time for my piece? No, it's not needed. That idea is not needed. And the right space experience also. Is it at the right spot? That kind of attention. Do I have this in the right timing and space? Can I see it where it is and when it is? It's not done here. It is this extra attention to these two parts that you check into a space where the things are ripened for the piece, or even ripened also for the first piece. No, here that kind of attention is not needed, so I have to leave that out. So that leaves me only with one go towards my end goal, where I still have the sound of S, so the reality check is still getting a feedback to me. Of course, more important is the C and the E in the end, because these are the things that are written down, so the focus will still be described with these things, so I will do that as well. So what will be the difference when I just leave this image? First, let's go again to the focus of C. The focus of C, which of course will remain our most dominant idea of a form of where we check actually what is formed. It's in the first category, so it's checking what is formed in space, and which is a bit tricky, because there are differences there. And the differences make options. So we still have a couple of options. According to the known meaning of a piece, this context that we know of course that it will, and we also have already a clue and a context how we know how things are formed with the word piece, and how they will be dominating in what kind of focus will be dominating. We know that already. What is done there is that we focus upon actually a certain choice, like C also has a choice, has also the letter C. You have to choose actually between 3 points in space, and that's about interpretation as well. If also the first 9 letters are still involved in interpretation. We think we have fixed points, it's our objective, but the more we are at the end of that cycle of focuses, the more uncertain it is. So in the second level you have in 2 points, so also a certain uncertainty there. especially in the first category, where we just start to figure out, yeah, but what is that unknown factor there? K is that unknown factor, U deals with that unknown factor. So there's an order in how you deal with the unknowns and the uncertainty principles that are also forming in there. In a C, basically, you focus upon on the edges where things are not so clear anymore, where you make it clear by focusing upon the main object where you can start from. Main object means you have 3 points. You start, you choose with C what is dominant for your focus, what you think is dominating. It's still an interpretation, it's still a choice what is dominating. And this choice alone already will make it so that what we will take out in the end with the results, the direction it goes, and the results that will come out, and the feedback that will be given there, it will be dominated by C, our interpretation that we already gave to the piece. And it will be, of course, also because it's a piece, you can only see a part of the reality. That's a mindset that you can already understand, that it will be involved. You can only see the most, what you think is most dominating for you, for your interpretation, what you understand, what you can see, what you can see between the variations of points that you can see in space. Something will be dominating, and that one you will choose. And you should also realize that actually that part that you take out is then also part of an interpretation process, a timed interpretation process, because E is the last letter. It is so that you also define what is different, what is changed. You can mostly say with E, but here you could maybe even better say what is the most different, what is the most dominating, what is the most dominating highlighting features that are important for me. So the most dominant focus will also show its results accordingly. Even in that reality check in the background, it will also follow that idea. So according to that context that E will provide, E will tell you there's only it's only one thing at a time. So even a new idea, something that I can fit in our sense of reality, something that fit only one thing at a time, at a certain place or time. It's always a different place or time or different choice, but it's according to the context that you use. It will be correct. It will be, in this case, dominating with the choices that are made already in C. So whatever things dominate in your vision in C will also be the parts that will be taken out, that will be highlighted, that will be the thing also that will be taken out into your interpretation, into a context of interpretation. Simply, so in other words, simply what dominates physically also of what we see will find its applied context via the E, via the P, the process of directions as well. So I hope peace also became more clear, how our focus makes an interpretation according to what we notice and makes it the most dominant part, and that will be the piece that we will take out. That's the way how the letter focuses drives you also to interpret what is in the word even better. Okay, thanks again for watching. Bye.